Honestly, it makes me think about Cooper.
Deserve a treat. Where is it? I can smell it. Max, where'd you hide the treats? Where'd you hide them? Where'd you hide?
I like to think Cooper has a good life. He eats better than some humans. I feed him so many leftovers.
Smells so good. It smells organic. What is it? Max, where are the treats? I can tell there's treats. Come on.
He eats, good organic food, dog food.
Yeah! It smells so good. What is that? Can I get one? Please? Okay, Max, sit. We're gonna talk. I'm not going anywhere until I get a treat. No, sit. I told you to sit like me, see?
Hello. Oh.
How are you guys doing today?
Good. What is this? It looks like human treats. It looks so good. But
But basically for cats, yeah. So I start cooking for his meal, and to ensure giving him some well-balanced diet, I think I have to pursue a formal education in pet nutrition. So I learned pet nutrition in a certified association during my spare time, and I got the confidence to cook meal for Kimmy's that support his well-being, and also it motivates me to create Pawty Bakery and to provide healthy pet treats for other pets.
I think a big sort of part of that, particularly with the dog I had, is around nutrition and training and behavior. And one of the things that's increasingly difficult to get is really solid advice on nutrition and which brands, what type of food, raw versus made food to feed. And then this behavior question that's always a challenge is how best to train these guys. Undoubtedly, I think everyone agrees to start early, but what habits you're building in, how we're doing reward and discipline with these dogs seems to be increasingly important. And I've seen that especially recently, during COVID, when we've had so many puppies that have been, whether they've been adopted or bought from breeders, but just huge numbers. And then socializing is even harder during that period. We now have huge rates of behavioral challenges in this dog population that's difficult for everyone to deal with.
I think it's quite important to introduce pet nutrition to all the pet lovers here in Vancouver and also in Canada, because I can feel the pet owners here, they really love their pets, but they may lack of pet nutrition knowledge that I hope my professional can help them to bring more wellness, and also to bring more to bring a better life to their pets.
We had a root cellar. Now some people will go, well, what's a root cellar? But it basically was a hole dug in the ground with a frame over it, well insulated, but that was basically your deep freeze where you kept all your canning and your canned salmon and the fruit, the apples would have been stored in there. Well, all of this ties into a way of taking care of things. And that included your animals. That, as well as if you were going to take, some deer to make good meat and can that meat, for instance, you took responsibility to be grateful and thank the spirit of that animal for giving way. Today, I'd like this phrase that Dr. Robin Wall-Kimmerer, who's an indigenous scientist. She calls it the honorable harvest. And that's a beautiful way, respectful way to look at, you know, that part of our food sovereignty.
There's other cultures too, like we have Muslim people come here, and I'm quite, I like the way they do things in the sense of how much respect they have for the animals. So it's not like go to the trailer, go to a slaughterhouse, stand there for who knows how many hours in the trailer in the sun. But the Muslim culture, they will come here, they're quiet and peaceful, they pet the animal, they bless, they give thanks, and then animal goes to sleep. And there's no stress, nothing. Like, if it has to be done, I guess that would be what I think is the most logical way of doing things.
Well, there's a certain, you know, respect that I think people in your industry have to give out to a culture like that, and people who, you know, take more consideration into what they eat and as to, you know, how they're eating it as well.
What is it? Max, where are the treats? I can tell there's treats. Come on, give me some. Oh yeah, that's it, give me. Hey, that was mine, come on. Can I get a cake now?
And I receive so many support and love from the loyal customers and also different local pet stores in Vancouver, and their encouragement helped me a lot to grow Pawty Bakery. And in return, I give them back, like, by providing different collaboration with small pet local businesses here, and also participating in different community events, especially some charity pet association, and also recommend some trustworthy pet brands here in Canada. And I'm really enjoyed to see, you know, this community growing up and then growing stronger together, and I'm very grateful to be a part of it.
My name is Fable Zhao, and my Chinese name is, first name is QILUT Lu Zhao, and I'm the owner of in this pet store. Yeah, I think Canada need to teach our more like how to taking care of the pets and how to find like a best food for the.
Daily activities for Charlie's Food Bank, they're very erratic and they change all the time just based on need. Our clientele are very transient and vulnerable people, so we get a lot of people coming in who may have medical emergencies, or they may have special needs or special requests. Generally, we start our Charlie's Food Bank process on a Wednesday, and we have volunteers come in and we repack a bunch of dog food and cat food into smaller portions so that we can hand them out once a week to people. It acts as like a supplementary food program, so it can add to what people already have just to get them through. And if anybody comes in that asks for like, hey, I just got this new cat, I have nothing, then we can kind of bulk up what we're giving out. So after Wednesday's packing is done, Thursday morning comes and we load up the van and we drive down here. Jacob's Well lets us use this awesome space. We unload everything, and then the doors open around 9:45, 10 a.m. And we usually get clients in from 10 a.m. until 12. And people will come and ask for pet food, so we can offer pet food, pet treats, cat litter, and toys, leashes, collars, and then carriers. And then we also have specialty items like cat beds. Sometimes we offer nail trims.
I'm a grown dog here. Come on. Let me, just a little bit. No, doesn't feel right. Okay, give me a treat. I did it, come on.
I think the dental is very important things to the pets, is because when the mouse have the infection, and they will be go down in the whole system, including like kidney and organs and heart and brain, and they will be getting very hurt when they eat the foods, so they can't eat anymore. Yeah.
We never used to offer services like dematting, but we saw a lot of people bringing their cats in for nail trims or stuff like that, or asking for like vet services. Their cats were pretty shy and they had really tight knots on their skin, and that matting can cause tears in the skin and then infections. It can be really painful and uncomfortable. So instead of having to send them to a veterinarian to pay them money and do a physical exam and sedate the animal, if the animal is calm enough to be in this environment, we can shave all the mats out here and then just have it done so that there's no stress to the cat, no stress to the person, and there's no cost there. So that's been really fun.
Cooper,
Come on, let's
go.
go. Come on, Bubba.
Max, I'm
I have
not
a
sure
treat
about
for you.
this.
Let's go.
I don't
Come on,
know if
Cooper.
I like that.
Let's go.
Max,
Cooper's
no.
like, no, Dad, it's
No.
beautiful out here.
Max, I said
Yeah,
no.
no kidding. I don't blame you,
You're not
Cooper.
listening
Come
to
on,
me.
Cooper.
Let's
I
go.
said no.
Come on.
Let's go.
What are you gonna give me?
Because Dad.
Wait,
It's gonna be funny.
Wait,
footage,
like-
though.
Come on. Let's
like a
go.
real treat?
Давай.
You
Come
mean
on,
a real
buddy.
Come
treat?
here.
I said,
Come here.
okay,
Come
real treat.
here.
You owe
Come
me.
here. Good boy.
There we go.
right.
Good boy. Let's
Yeah.
go. Come
Okay,
on.
come on, guys. Let's go.
Come here.
Welcome to Lulu Island Winery, to my new 2- and 4-legged friends here.
Yes.
So this is our first tasting room. I'm actually filling the winery on April the 12th for Pawty Expo. I'm filling it completely with vendors. I'm so excited. By the way, look at the poster. Look at this.
Wow.
Frankie, go look. He goes, it's me, it's me,
You
it's
should
me.
get that autograph.
I can get a little paw.
The little paw,
print,
yeah.
Or a nose smudge.
I would like to mention there's one chapter in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, of course, is sacred literature. It's coming from the battlefield at Kurukshetra in India, and it's a very unique situation. The battle is just about to begin, but Krishna and Arjuna spend 45 minutes talking about the meaning of life. And there's one chapter, the 5th chapter, is called Karma Yoga. So karma, like action, like karma yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. And that's the same chapter that a few verses later will have basically the peace formula for the world. This particular verse that I wanted to share with you, it's trying to explain who is a knowledgeable person. And it says, the humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, like somebody at the top of the caste system, a cow, an elephant, a dog, now we're getting lower on the, and a dog eater, we're getting at the bottom of the caste system. And the idea is that if you are actually in true knowledge, you don't see a difference between those. You don't actually judge people on the basis of caste or body. So our teacher, Srila Prabhupada, has put a purport to this verse where he says, a Krishna conscious person does not make any distinction between species or caste.
So, and aside from that, learn, and try not to support. It's hard to say when people fall in love with an animal, but please try not to support, mills and shops. Like, there are so many amazing animals that need to be rescued. I had the best cat ever, and I rescued him. He was at the SPCA in Abbotsford, and I went to visit him, and he had a head tilt, and he had a middle ear infection and a nasal infection, respiratory, and he was a mess. But he was so beautiful, and I thought, you know what? I've been a nurse. I'll take him. I'll cure him. He was 9 years old when I had him. He was 19 when he passed away.
Whoa.
And I helped him, and I did range of motion like we did with our patients. I helped his head tilt. I got him on organic food. I put him on a little bit of raw. I syringed with cranberry juice, and gave him all sorts of stuff, saline in between the shoulder blades. He lasted another 10 years.
Did you do any like Reiki with him?
I did do energy with him.
Can you talk about that and explain it?
It's not Reiki. It's not something that I do on them. When you work with human beings, that's different. I have to be more active.
Yeah.
With animals, I studied with Kathleen Prasad, that it's called the Let the Animals Lead method. Let animals lead. And so it's about tuning into the animal, and it's not hands-on. It's respecting the animal. First, you know, I have to ask permission, you know, of the animal. Can I work with you? Are you all right? I would like to just listen, spend some time with you. And so I'll say this, and then the animal leads me, and I follow.
A lot of tears involved with surrendering animals, and typically you'll either get the really emotional responses of they will sit with their animal for a really long time after surrendering because they just really don't want to give them up, or they'll do the opposite and they just have to drop them off and they can't see them because it's just so emotional like that. It's hard for them to comprehend that they're even doing this.
And I have an example in Toronto. I was called in. There was a family, and the mom, she was terminal, and her cat of, I think, 12 years had not gone near her for 2-3 weeks, and the cat was not like that, and they couldn't understand, and so they called me and they said, we don't know what's going on with the cat. The cat spends all its days hiding under the bed, and this was our cat of 12 years. Like, this cat's been on our laps and sleeping with us and playing with us. It's been hiding for 3 weeks. We don't know what's going on. And I thought, okay, let's see. So I went over and I said to the owner, because animals, again, they have the attention span of a 2-year-old. So I said, okay, let me know when 15 minutes. So I worked in 15-minute increments. So the cat was hiding when I got there, and I went down to the basement, and I said, that's where it was, in the basement. This is, again, a cat that had been all over the house, but it was in the basement hiding. So I sat down on the floor, and the owner, she closed the door, and so I was just myself and this cat that's hiding. And I started just to talk to the cat and say, hey, you okay? You can come out, I'm not gonna hurt you. The cat comes out, and he sat on the floor in front of me.
When you were gone, we connected, right, buddy? I learned a lot from him. We built this special connection.
How's it going? Pretty good. Grab a seat. Join me and Cooper.
Hey, Cupertino, come on.
Cooper, this is you.
Yes, this is you. It's your voice, your persona.
How'd you come up with this voice?
I tried out a bunch of different things.
I said, how you doing, buddy? And he's just looking at me. I said, you okay? I said, what's going on? He came on my lap, curled up, and was on my lap. Not purring, just curled up on my lap. And I thought, all right, I guess you're coming to me, so I can touch you, it's all right. Because again, consent. So I started to pet him. He starts to purr, and I thought, okay, you're good, you're good. As soon as the owner came in to let me know it was 50, he hid again. And she says, 15 minutes. I said, okay. He went to hide. So I thought, all right, this is great. I said, let's do it again. So I sat down for another 15 minutes. He came back out. And he said, I did animal communication, and it's really hard to explain, but it's just tapping into them and really listening. Animals don't speak this way. They speak this way, telepathically.
Yeah.
Good boy.
I want to go home, Max. Take me home. It's freezing.
It's probably what he would say.
Yeah, it's kind of chilly out now.
And so I asked, his name is Riley. I said, Riley, what's going on? Talk to me. And all I heard was the shock of it. I said, the shock of it. And so my human brain is going, what does that mean, the shock of it? And so Riley was like, the shock of it, the shock of it all, the shock of it all. And I thought, the shock of it, the shock of it all. And then he said, sad. The shock of it all, sad. And this is how they, you have to piece things together. So I thought, all right. Then the owner, the daughter came down and said, okay, 15 minutes are up, cat hit again. So I went upstairs. And Mom, she was out on the deck, on the patio with a blanket. And I sat with her and I said, I need to ask you a question. I said, I'm not trying to pry, but I need to ask you, how did you break the news of your diagnosis? And she goes, what do you mean? And having been a nurse, I was able to go there with her. Yeah. And I said, when you received your diagnosis, how did you break the news to your family? And she sat there and she's like, it was a sad day. I said, okay, tell me about it. So she'd gone with her daughter to the doctor. She received her diagnosis. They were bawling their eyes out all the way home. because mom was given months, bawling their eyes out on the way home. When they got home, the mother said, I'm going to go in to tell your dad. You go do what you need to do. I'm coming in to tell dad. So when she came into the house, she literally opened the door, gave her husband the news, shocked the hell out of him, and the two of them were bawling their eyes out. Obviously, it's horrific, it's traumatic. And I said to her, okay, now that we know that happened, do you recall? I said, and it's okay if you don't, because why would you? You're focused on your spouse. Do you recall where Riley was in the room? And she said, I don't. I said, believe it or not, Riley was there. And Riley thinks that this is something to do with him because they don't understand. So I said, okay, now that I got it, I went back downstairs, I was like, give me another 15 minutes. So I sat down with Riley. Riley came back out because now he's used to me. He sat on my lap. And I had a talk with Riley. And I said, Riley, it's not you. You are loved. I said, you've been with your mom for 12 years. You need to be with dad now. Because when mom goes, dad's going to need you. And you've got to know that you're loved. You are safe. It is not your fault. They love you and need you in this family. You are important. And they told me, I finished. They told me 50 minutes was up. He hit again. That's fine. I went back upstairs. It was very sad because I never saw her again. We knew she was terminal. So, lots of hugs and everything. And when I left, the daughter called me and Riley came out 2 hours later and went right up on mom and stayed there right through to the end. And when mom passed away, Riley went with dad. And Riley is still alive in Ontario with dad. And she said it was the weirdest thing, Deb. And I said, I have no proof, right? I can only do what I do. But the cat had been hiding for 3 weeks, and that's what we determined from the information that I received from the animal.
Well, that emotional connection is so resonated amongst animals and with humans, because even I recently got back from Ukraine and from being on the front lines of Ukraine, and obviously I didn't take Cooper with me, but I got back and it was like he knew.
Yeah, you experienced a lot.
Yeah, and he would just be like different ways of cuddling with me, different ways of playing with me, different ways on going on a WALK. I don't want to say the full word because.
Oh no, I know. It's like TREAT.
Yeah. And no, it was like he knew and understood that, but also having him around so much more often. Now that I'm back to being in Vancouver, I can work from home, I can spend more time with him. It is a level of therapy for me, and
you're changed. You're changed as a result of that experience.
For sure, yeah.
So, but you're being accountable and you're owning it and you're aware.
Yeah.
And that's we were talking about that earlier, about all of us. Nobody comes off this journey called life unscathed.
Yeah.
All of us are broken by this journey. All of us are beat down by this journey. It's a tough journey, but we were never promised an easy journey, but it is a tough journey.
One day, a bird flew into Cooper's yard, a stunning little creature with a dark gray tail and a bright orange breast. And oh, how beautifully she could sing! Cooper loved listening to her melodious songs and admiring her feathers. Curious and excited, he finally gathered the courage to introduce himself. "Woof woof, my name is Cooper," he barked. "What's your name?" "I am Belshanka the bird. Let's be friends."
So if you were to have a call to action for the younger generations of BC residents in the next several years going to consider adopting pets, what advice would you have for people looking to adopt?
Looking to adopt? I would say look into all your rescues, and if you have one set animal in mind, just be open-minded to, there's so many out there.
Cooper was puzzled. Why would they ever leave? It was always sunny and warm here, but the bird explained about the autumn rains and the bitter cold of winter. It all sounded so strange.
When you hear the term, the phrase, adopt, don't shop, what does that make you think?
The phrase adopt, don't shop It means a lot to me just because I'm definitely dealing with the adopt part of it on a daily basis. And just there are so many animals out there that do want loving homes.
He didn't want to think about it. Instead, they agreed. The bird would tell him another story next time. But not every pet gets to experience that boundless love and devotion.
When I hear the term adopt, don't shop, I honestly think of the BCSPCA and other animal welfare organizations. We're trying to move away from sheltering animals and getting animals directly into homes, either through fostering or adoption. And when you do adopt an animal, you're actually giving an animal a second chance to thrive and own a, have a nice family.
Cooper couldn't imagine a life without it, and his heart ached for pets who live without families, waiting in shelters for someone to take them home. Through his adventures, Cooper encourages people to open their hearts and homes to a homeless pet. A little love, a warm place to call home, and the comfort of a caring family can change a pet's life forever. And animals, in return, will never forget that kindness. With boundless devotion and unwavering loyalty, they'll fill up your life with joy, love, and true companionship.
When I hear the term adopt, don't shop, I think of rescuing dogs that could use a better life. One thing is you never really know what you're going to get when it comes to an adoption dog. It's possible they could have had an accident or a surgery, and you don't know the effects of that until you actually get them into your hands. So one area of concern is the cost that comes along with that when you don't know what you're getting.
If you were to have a call to action, what is the most important thing that you would like to say to them and that you wish they knew?
Give rabbits a chance. So rabbits tend to get the short end of the stick compared to dogs and cats, for instance. We know that there's housing situations out there where they're actually discriminated against. The management will actually say, yes, you can have small pets, but no rabbits. We had a little bunny given back to us after living with his family for 4 years because their name finally came up for a co-op that they had applied for. And that co-op said no rabbits. And they had actually lost the mom of the family last year. And then in order to take advantage of this amazing opportunity to move into this co-op that they'd been on the wait list for years, they had to give up one of their family members. And that little bunny is here looking for a new home.
I've often thought about this as a teacher. There needs to be room in our school curriculum for how to take care of animals, what animal welfare means. Because if you're a child, you're 10 years old and you want to have a dog, but you've never had one before, and let's just say there's a course in the school that in the curriculum it's all about taking care of animals, and you learn about that, and it would teach so much.
This is the thing, it's like a person, when you see somebody that needs a hug, you don't beat them down again. Yeah. You give them that hug. And so to me, animals that have been unloved and mistreated, give them that hug, adopt them, give them a positive home, and at least make up for the cruelty that they've been exposed to, right? And I tell a lot of people, if you can't help, at least don't harm.
Yeah.
Don't harm. Don't harm.
You cool, buddy?
Well, that's adopt, don't shop.
That is.
When I think adopt, don't shop,
What'd you think?
I think about the relationship that stands in between me and you.
Uh-huh.
And adopt, don't shop, it is a connection.
It is.
But it's a genuine connection that is only formed with time, love, and...
Dog treats?
Probably dog treats.
I knew it. Yeah, I'm always finishing your sentences, bro. Okay, I can walk myself, man. This is too much.